More magical, the world of Stephen Brown. You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
a firewalker.
I am indeed, yeah.
I tell you. But listen, before we talk, we'll have a look at a short video of you firewalking.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm getting ready for this. 1 minute. Andrew is sorting. Have you got that? No, we'll keep talking for 1 minute. Andrew is putting it into the shelf and pushing the right buttons, doing the right fades. And all. Where was this piece taken? Where was it shot?
It was in Coleraine. It was for a charity, and just a group of local women. They want to build a memorial garden for young children, and they did it as a fundraiser. They raised, I think it was just over £4,500.
Fantastic.
After it all. So
how long have you been firewalking? I think Andrew's having problems there. How long have you been firewalking?
I've been firewalking 7 years now. Which was when I first did my first firewalk.
Okay,
and then
hold the thought. Will you keep them in suspense? Okay. Because I've had the thumbs up from Andrew, and we're now going to see your video.
Yeah, that's it.
I just don't get this. I really don't. What's the philosophy? How does it work?
There's a few things. People would say that there's a lot to do with the physics, where wood's not a good conductor of heat.
Yeah.
There's the Linderfrost theory, which is where there's moisture on your feet, so the heat can't transfer through it. But none of those things are actually conclusive, because believe it or not, now and again somebody might take a bit of a burn to their foot, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like a hot spot we would call it,
Yeah.
where if you put your hand on a kettle
Yeah.
and there's no visible marking, but your hand's sore and niggly,
indeed.
but you wake up the next day and it's fine.
Yeah.
So people can get that. So the theories aren't there, but there is research which was done in the 80s which would lead us to the point of view that you need to be in the right frame of mind to
It's
do it.
frame of mind, because it's from the point of view of physics, that is supposed to burn you.
Yes, yes.
Now, that's maybe 10 feet long,
12 feet.
12 feet long. Now, say that was 24 feet long.
Yeah.
Could you still walk it?
Yeah, I've done a 40-foot firewalk.
Oh, wow.
A 40-foot firewalk.
My goodness. So let's talk about the mental state that gets you into that.
Yeah.
Now, a long, long time before you did your first firewalk, I rather think you were a man possessed of a certain attitude to life. You had a certain discipline in your thinking. You had a certain mantra, if you like, as to how you behaved in life.
Yeah, I had just started working for myself. You know, so it was 7 years ago, and I needed to change how I was getting on in life, and part of that process was starting to work for myself.
Yeah.
And
What sort of work do you do, may I ask?
adventure sports.
Wow,
So
yes,
I also
yeah.
teach people how to jump off cliffs into the sea,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But about 6 months after I had started working for myself, I saw an opportunity to try a firewalk in Belfast, which was all around confidence, and
Yeah.
thought, yeah, a little confidence boost working for yourself would be good.
Yeah.
And I did it. And I walked across it 3 times that night. The first time was fairly brisk walking, but the third one, I just walked across fairly cool and relaxed about it.
And in the process of the walk, do you, Stephen Brown, feel pain?
No.
No burning whatsoever?
Now and again, I have gone home and my foot has felt hot, as I explained earlier.
Yeah.
But the next day it's fine. There's no visible markings.
Yeah. Now, how does it work in terms of people getting involved? We ring you, we contact you.
Yeah, we run some open events during the year that anybody can sign up to, and those can be in various locations. So, for example, there's one in Carlow in November to coincide with the full moon. It's done on a big old estate with a big ghostly castle in the
I'm
background.
going to ask you the obvious question. Full moon
Yeah.
and firewalking, is there, you have to be mad to do it.
No,
Being at the
just
full moon.
For that sort of firewalk would be quite a spiritual experience for
Yeah,
people. You
yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
you know, you're doing something which is very much at nature.
Yeah.
And defying your sort of normal limiting beliefs about
Yeah.
things. So
But I mean, normal, you see, that's what I'm trying to get at. There's some magic going on in here, if I can use that word loosely,
yeah.
very loosely, because fire burns.
Yeah.
So the limiting factor is not my confidence. The limiting factor is the physics of fire burning.
Yeah.
The physics tell us that fire burns, and that is the case. It always has been the case. It always will be the case. But suddenly I'm able to walk, or you're able to walk 40 feet along a bed of hot fires. We're defying physics.
Yeah.
Now, what is the element within you that allows you to defy physics?
I think it's the belief that I can do it. You know, that's a big part of it. You know, whenever I'm training people before they walk on fire, you know, I spend time actually with them about how they should walk and how they shouldn't walk. And the fire, of course, is well prepared.
Yeah.
So it is, you know, with no big lumps of embers sitting in it. So it is straightforward from people. So there's a lot of work goes into it and making sure people are in the right frame of mind. We also will do another activity in the training, so that might be walking on broken glass.
No, come on.
Yeah, teach people how to walk on broken glass. We break arrows using our throats, break boards, break bricks, use a bed of nails occasionally.
I can understand the bed of nails.
Yeah.
You know, it's the
dead
equilibrium.
Easy.
It's
dead
broken
easy.
glass.
Yeah, broken glass is all about technique. It's actually the interesting thing. People will often say to me, "I'd rather walk on fire than walk on broken glass."
Yeah.
But once they do it, they
Yeah.
realise that it's far easier than what they thought it would be. And that's
And is it blunt glass?
no, it's like we use wine bottles, and the neck and the base is taken off them, and then the rest are just all put together.
I can't believe this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
But you know, what's even more amazing, and it takes the magicality to another level, you're helping charities all over the country.
Yeah,
And people
yeah.
are raising money. There were people up in Coleraine, they wanted to do a memorial garden for children who had died.
Yeah.
And you come in and you organise an event, and they raise £5,000 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
You know, how does that translate to the charity? How does it work? If I'm a charity and I want to get involved, I talk to you, hello, I'm a charity, what can we do?
Yeah, well, basically, the way it works is I have a flat fee for running the event,
Yeah.
and that allows up to 50 people. They can, of course, have more people. They
Yeah,
pay extra
yeah.
per person. I'll keep them right about how to market the event. I'll provide them with
Yeah.
images for their posters
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. They then get that out there to their fundraisers
Yeah.
or new fundraisers.
Yes.
I'll stick it on my website and Facebook
Yeah.
and Twitter as usual. And then people will have their registration fees that they pay.
Yeah.
They get their information pack.
What would
in
a
the
normal
post.
registration fee be for the? And presumably that would be the charity would be administering that end
Yeah.
of it, and the charity would pay you for your
Yeah.
end of it, because
Yeah.
the labourer is worthy of his hire, for goodness sake,
Yes.
and you do a good job. You know, you mustn't be crucifying them, if I can use that term,
No.
in terms of money, when they can make 5,000.
The vast majority of charities that I work with will raise at least 4,000
yeah,
after
for them,
costs.
after costs.
And some have raised 5 figures,
My goodness.
you know. And there was one last year with Pips.
Yeah.
They raised £10,500,
Wow.
and they had 40 people.
Yes.
There was one in Dublin recently for Bumbulance, which is a children's ambulance.
Yes. Isn't that a lovely name?
yeah.
Bumbulance.
And
Bumbulance.
they raised €8,500 again after costs. You know, so
Yeah.
it can be a real good earner.
Yeah, absolutely.
With limited work for
Yeah.
the charity.
And people are excited about the idea of being able to do
Yeah.
this, you know. Now, the training that you give people to walk on the coals, how long does that training last?
Lasts an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
So you can convince me in an hour that I can walk on fire,
Usually.
usually.
You will still have some people that may not walk
Yeah.
on the night, and I encourage people not to walk
Yeah,
if they're not feeling
if
it.
they're not feeling happy.
You know.
Yeah. So I'm with you, and it's no bad thing. So we're going to tell people in a moment exactly how to find you, because
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing that you do.
Yeah.
You know, charities are benefiting all over the land. I'm with you. I come to you, and I'm in the hour session. The bullet points. Let's pretend we're in that session. You're
Yeah.
helping me now, and I'm saying, look, I'm very, very worried about walking on fire. It doesn't seem natural. I don't think I can do this.
Yeah, well, the stuff that I go through with people is a little bit of the history of firewalking, because
Yeah.
of course it's not something which is new. You know, firewalking was practiced in Ireland thousands of years ago.
Wow.
It's practiced in countries all around the world.
Far East is coming to mind. India is coming
Yeah,
to mind.
and in Fiji,
Fiji, yeah.
Vikings, they didn't actually walk on fire. Vikings they heated up their shields
Yeah.
until they were red hot, and they walked in those. In Fiji, they walk in flowing lava. In the Kalahari Desert, which I find this one to be the most interesting, there's a tribe of pygmies, and they actually meditate for a few days before it, and they build a big, massive fire, big circular fire, and they'll roll across it, and they'll be out in the middle of it, and they'll pick up the embers with their hands and rub them over their bodies. And for them, they receive healing through the fire, and they will then go into the rest of their village. And if, say, for example, you had a sore arm, these hands then, which had received healing
Touch
from
the
the fire,
arm.
would touch the arm and transfer the healing. And I find that fascinating. How
So
they
I'm
can do
beginning
that.
now, as you talk, I'm beginning now to get the feeling, the sensation of a connectivity with my ancestors.
Yeah.
I begin to feel that whatever the physics tell me, this has been done throughout the ages.
Yeah.
And I'm reaching back into the past.
Yeah.
So you've got me interested and got me going along then.
Yeah.
But I'm still, what's the technique for doing it? How
Yeah,
should I
I'll explain all about the technique. You know, it's you walk. Many people like the idea of it's walking across hot sand.
Yeah.
But you're getting your feet flat as normal. You're not trying to walk on your heels or your toes.
flat.
Feet flat as normal. It's going to be 4 steps. We'll get everybody across. You know, it's a 12-foot firewalk, so 4 steps, maybe 5 if you're particularly short.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, the grass is a little bit wet, so you can tap your feet about a wee bit, because sometimes an ember may have got caught in among your toes. And it's about being confident in your walk, you know, being very focused on it, look straight ahead, make sure nobody else is about to go, because of course we don't want people banging into each other.
No.
And people, some people will practice the walk, some people won't. They'll just go out there and they'll do it.
Yeah.
And then I also will do, as I said earlier, one other activity, and that's really to give people a bit of confidence, you know, because they're doing something else that they've maybe thought they couldn't do. And it normally comes as a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Are you a hypnotist?
No.
You're not? It's not about hypnosis?
It's not about hypnosis. Everybody needs to do it of their own free will.
Yeah.
And I explain to people that whenever we go out there, there'll be people that really want to go first, and there'll be other people that'll stand around until near the end. Right. And I'll say to people that we're going to close the fire in the next few minutes, and that's the key for those people that are waiting.
That's the trigger.
If I'm going to go, I'm going to go now.
Yeah. Did you ever do anything in your younger days, not that you're a very old person, but in your younger days, that might have hinted to you that you would become involved in extreme activity?
I grew up in Cubs and Scouts. Until I filled in my UCAS form at the age of 17, I'd always worked at school towards studying law. That was where I wanted to go. But I also spent time at adventure centres, and when I filled in the UCAS form, I ditched the law idea. I didn't go to university in the end up. I just followed a career of working with people, providing activities that will challenge and help people grow.
Scouting, I recognise. I was a scout, and an awful lot of what I do now, and I do things in Africa, I do things in India, at the edge. Those things, a man I interviewed for a documentary in the bush of Africa, of northern Nigeria, he said, "Rohan, I find that in Africa you can be a Boy Scout forever." That kind of thing. So we were equipped, I rather think, in scouting for all that life would throw at us in the future. You know.
I agree. If I had kids, I would certainly encourage them to try Scouts.
Because the thing about it, you know, I can cook, do my own washing, do my own ironing, and keep my place, my cave clean. And if you're collapsed there, I can deal with you and get you back to health again. You know, if there's someone opened with a cut or whatever, I know what to do. I know how to use the triangular bandage, so famed in the scouting first aid kits. So, that doesn't surprise me. Scouting has taken you through on this adventure. Yeah. How do people contact you?
Normally just through the website.
Which is?
Firewalkingireland.com.
Firewalkingireland.com. That's where you find the man. And
but also on Facebook and Twitter, it's Google Plus.
Google
it's
everything.
Everywhere that's social media, we're generally.
And if you're a company, if you're a charity, and that you really want to make some money for your charity, just think, you know, over £10,000 for pips, or the charity up in Coleraine for the memorial garden for the youngsters who had gone. £4,000 or £5,000 there, and you'll work with people and make it happen. Yeah,
we're doing another one now again on Halloween night for Fasa. It's second year in.
What is Fasa?
Fasa work with people with drug addiction, alcohol addiction.
I know them. I had them in here, East Belfast.
And the one that we're doing is down on the Ards Peninsula, where they have the Eden Centre. So. Halloween night, and it'll be a good one. Fireworks.
And is there a propitious date in 2016 that a fellow could book now? What are the good dates? You know, obviously Halloween, a brilliant time to do it. You know, the summer, the spring equinox or whatever.
Yeah, all of those. They're not on the website at the minute, but those key dates will all be out there. And we're also next year running a weekend of sweat lodges. Where people can experience that as a challenge and a
But you'd have to sit in the lodge with sweaty, smelly people.
Yeah, that'll
No,
probably...
we'll not bother with that one. We'll go for the firework. We'll walk in glass before we'll do that, I think.
The smelly people would probably be the least of your worry.
What does it do to a man or a woman in a sweat lodge?
In a sweat lodge, it's a time to really, although you're there with other people, it's a time to be alone and in your own thoughts, and speak about your own thoughts.
It's an outdoor sauna.
Yeah, but it's hotter, and you know there's a process that you go through. You know, it's a Native American sweat lodge.
You're a very interesting man with a very interesting system, and I'm building schools in northern Nigeria.
Yeah.
You and I'll be talking.
Yeah.
We'll be doing something next year, I tell you.
That would be great.
We're going to play you some music now. Andrew, my colleague here, stood by with a piece he has selected for us. Thank you very much indeed.
You're
Go
welcome.
well.
Thank you.
Firewalking Ireland, Stephen Brown.
Thank you.
Welcome and thank you.
Thank you.